I'm Shannon.
And I'm Holly, and this is a Girls Gone Curious podcast, where we talk about things that make us curious. So, grab your favorite drink, sit back, and relax, because your show is loading. Today's episode includes the following trigger warnings: mentioning topics of domestic violence and murder. This podcast is not suitable for children. Please listen with care. We do apologize if we say any of the names or places wrong in today's case. This week's true crime category is women killers. So, let's get into it.
For today's case, it takes place in the 1600s. It is the time of women knowing they are nothing more than a commodity to be traded. Women have no say in many aspects of their own life, if any at all. Women are to get traded like baseball cards, give birth, and die, pretty much. Some women felt trapped and terrified of what their life story would be, so they turned to someone for help, and the question of how was answered in the form of poison. This is the case of Giulia Tofana.
Aqua Tofana.
For the amount of people that have thought about and talked about this case, there is hardly any information on Giulia herself. It is said that most information comes from several journals from that time frame that have been preserved as best as possible and passed down. Also, word of mouth. There are no paintings or portraits of Giulia anywhere, or at least not given to public viewing.
Yeah.
Most of the images that I searched were just what she may have looked like, not an actual image of her. None of the images are the same. Like, some of the images show that she has like a strawberry blondish hair. There's some where she's blonde, and then there's some where she's brunette. And the body shape changes with each supposed portrait as well. So I have no idea what she looks like. Giulia was said to have been born in the 1590s or early 1600s in Palermo, Italy. She was said to be beautiful and very intelligent. Giulia's mother, Tofana D'Amato, was executed when Giulia was just 13 years old. Tofana was executed for poisoning her husband. No information if she was abused by her husband or anything else I could find on Tofana. At a young age, Giulia began creating her own beauty line. It would include makeup, oils, and ointments. When she was an adult, Giulia would begin toying with the idea of making poisons and disguising them as these beauty products. The poison would be a combination of arsenic, lead, and belladonna. So this is a large side note here, just because I was curious. Arsenic is a chemical compound that can be found in many pesticides like rat poison and can also be found in nature. Arsenic may be found in lava, electronics, so literally the laptop we're working on, the cell phone that we have in our hand, all of that can contain it. Cancer medication, diesel fuel, and wood preservatives are just a couple. Arsenic poisoning in large doses can cause violent vomiting and death. Smaller doses will cause confusion, weakness, paralysis, and flu-like symptoms. This became a popular choice for poisoning because of its ease of accessibility, and at the time it was untraceable. Arsenic has been used throughout history as such, sometimes put in food, but mainly in wine. It is said to have been used on kings, ambassadors, everyday people, both poor and wealthy. Lead can be found in nature as well. It is a toxic metal and has been used in gasoline, paint, batteries, plumbing fixtures, cosmetics, toys, and ceramics, to name a few. Some symptoms of lead poisoning include vomiting, diarrhea, cramping, headache, fatigue, and numbness in limbs. Belladonna is a poisonous plant that has been used for centuries in many different products. Belladonna was used during the Renaissance in Italy. Women would take the belladonna berry and make a liquid out of it. Then they would put a drop in their eyes and it would dilate their pupils. Belladonna has been referred to as a murderer's berries and sorcerer's berries. It is used in several medicines and supplements. So wild to me. Eating a small amount of the berries or the flower of the plant can be deadly. Touching the plant can make your skin very uncomfortable with rashes and itchiness. The benefits of belladonna include helping with muscle spasms, dilating eyes for eye exams, motion sickness, and regulating heart rate. Symptoms after taking belladonna in an unsafe and unregulated way include itchy skin, you're not able to sweat, muscle spasms, blurred vision, hallucinations, can't pee, seizures, coma, and death. And all these 3 ingredients were mixed into a
singular product.
Yeah, to make
the all-time
poison, yeah. So back to Miss Tofana. The specific recipe could have been given to her by her mother, or she may have concocted it on her own through trial and error with test subjects. The poison had no odor, no taste, and no color. It was also undetectable when a post-mortem exam was done. People had no way of knowing that they had been poisoned. Why would she create such a product? Well, Giulia developed a closeness to several women who were desperate to get out of their marriage. Women during this time frame were forced into marriages they didn't want. They were beaten and treated like a pretty object rather than a human. Women were looking for any way that they could successfully leave their marriage, and Giulia had the solution. Divorce wasn't an option during this time, and women weren't able to just leave necessarily. Usually if they left, it was because they were killed, or they ran away and then they were found and then they were killed. Giulia created this oil or ointment for these women. She sympathized with the women who couldn't leave their marriages. She had a very successful business already with her beauty products, and when her poison was available, she would sell it right next to the other beauty products in the local apothecaries. Similar packaging and all. It was called Aqua Tofana.
Aqua Tofana.
Very good name. Like, I would buy it. Not for that. Very catchy name. We'll say that.
Just, if you haven't seen Bailey Sarian's episode on this, go watch it.
Yeah, it's great.
Aqua Tofana.
Yeah. It's great. I love it. This poison itself was not detectable because it mimicked other illnesses like a cold or flu. And food poisoning, actually. Some of the symptoms would include feeling weak and possibly a fever, and morph into severe weakness, severe vomiting, and then death. Tofana was careful as to who she trusted, and only those that were vetted by word of mouth would get to meet Tofana. From there, she would investigate the client, and if their story checked out, she would offer the poison. So I'm not really sure how she vetted the clients. Like, she would say, client number 1 recommended it to client number 2. Client number 2 was like, hey, I heard from this person that you do this. What can you do for me? So what did she do? Like, go back to client number 1 and like, hey, is this
verify?
Yeah. Or did she
or maybe there
go
was
and spy on them at their house
yeah.
and like, oh yeah, she got her ass beat last night.
Yeah.
Like,
or maybe there was like a specific word or phrase.
Yeah, I think there was actually.
Just to like, you can trust this person.
Yeah.
I've given them the word or phrase.
Yeah. That's a good point. There probably was. I imagine there was.
Or something like that. I mean, she didn't get fucking caught, so.
No, for years. Like, decades.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Tofana was very careful with her instructions on the use of the poison. She made sure to explain in great detail the whole process. She explained that the women couldn't give a large dose all at once. That would literally kill their husband that day. Each dose had to be small drops, and they could increase the number of drops throughout a few days' time. The poison also needed to be added to food or drink, usually soup or wine. So the first drop, the symptoms would seem like they just had a cold. The doctor would check them out and just give them some medicine for it. The second dose would be a couple of drops, and the symptoms would be worse and include stomach pains, vomiting, and diarrhea. The doctor, if he came back, would give them a stronger dose of medicine to help with the stomach bug. The third or fourth dose would be given and they would die. Tofana would give specific instructions to the women as well to act a certain way so that they would be believed. They would need to act worried and anxious, then positively heartbroken and sad when their husband passed away. This would help them with the investigation of their husband's death. The death would be ruled something like natural causes or something like that. Over the years, Tofana would perfect her packaging to throw off any suspicion. At first, it was a pretty bottle that had Aqua Tofana on it. Later on, she would include an instruction card that read something like a few drops of oil or ointment day and night to help moisturize the skin. She would tell her clients to place the card next to the bottle so that if there was any investigation, they're like, oh, it's just my makeup stuff or my beauty care stuff. Then finally, the instructions were placed on the bottle itself. Tofana's poison took the lives of over 600 men, or did it. One man was in the process of meeting the same fate as the other husbands, and the wife just couldn't do it. The client had made soup that day for her and her husband. She made her husband's with an extra poisonous ingredient. They were sitting down at the table, and when he went to take a taste, the wife panicked and told him not to drink the soup. The husband asked why, and she pleaded with him not to drink it. The husband would demand answers and would begin to beat her until she confessed. She would be arrested and tortured until she gave the name of who she got the poison from. So not only did her husband beat the crap out of her, then she went to prison or was arrested, took into jail, and she was tortured there. Not sure if this client was ever released, spent the rest of her life in jail, or if she was executed. Couldn't find any information on any of this.
Or
this
she
individual.
probably died from the abuse.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Tofana would get word that she was exposed and that the authorities were looking for her. She would flee, but they would catch up to her and arrest her. She was brought back to Palermo and tortured into confessing. The trial wouldn't begin until 1958. I did forget to put in there that she was caught. I believe she was caught in 51. Brought back to Palermo and tortured into confessing, and the trial wouldn't begin until 1958. That's quite a time frame.
Well, she probably also had a bunch of other people that would probably cover for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, nobody would want to rat on her, basically tell her. The only one that did was, unfortunately, that the woman that was tortured. Yeah. Otherwise, Tofana she probably still would have been creating her potion. Mm-hmm. And who knows how many she would have killed, because she was still young. So Tofana was found guilty and she was executed. Her daughter, co-workers, and some of her clients would also be executed in July of 1959. The clients that were wealthier were spared execution at the request of the Pope.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah. So, you don't have any money, or you only have a couple bucks to your name? You're guilty. You're going to die. Oh, you have like $1,000 or like lots of money. Okay, well, you can live. Fucking. The clients that were killed were the ones that people could remember the names. And I don't know if she purposely forgot the names of her clients to protect them.
Yeah.
The execution took place in the area known as the Campo de' Fiori. It was named this because at one point it was a beautiful field of flowers, and then it was covered up with concrete and used for executions, including hangings and being burned alive.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So once a beautiful place, now turned into...
What the fuck?
Yeah. Like I mentioned, there isn't a whole lot of information on Giulia Tofana, but there is a little bit. The rest seems to be all theories and what ifs, so let's get into the theories. And there's a lot, because like I said, there isn't a whole lot of information, and what there is, there's a good amount of people that believe each one, so don't really know which one is the truth.
I mean, multiple of them could be the truth.
Right.
Not just one.
Right. So the first theory is Tofana was actually a palm reader and did magical charms and potions. So she was killed as part of the witch hunt on women who did things that seemed odd or suspicious. Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Seems, time frame and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like that's definitely or probably could be a possibility. And if
What?
she was as beautiful as many say she was that a
Mhm.
reason why people were? I don't know.
Do we know when the first witch hunt was?
It was like I want to say like the 1500s. It was like the very first one, or no, because Salem was in 92.
It is 1428 is the first
Wow,
documented witch hunt.
wow.
And it's in Valais, Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how you say it, Valais.
Wow, wow.
This execution continued for 8 years, resulting in the execution of 367 people.
What the fuck?
I think I found another little thing we could do research on.
Yeah. What the fuck?
We can get into more
Worldwide.
witch hunts.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want us to do that. Because
Yeah, that's interesting. And especially that early, like I don't know why that surprises me so much, but
I thought it
does.
was going to be like the 15 or 16,
Yeah.
but 14?
Mhm.
Jeez. And that's the first documented one.
Yeah. So there's probably several more.
Yeah.
The second theory is that Tofana was actually a contract killer and was killed as a cover-up. I'm not so sure about that one, but I thought that was interesting that was tossed in there, so I wanted to include it.
With the way women were treated, I
Mhm.
don't think this would be.
Yeah, I don't think that's plausible, but what if, I mean, just the possibility of what if it was, and
Yeah.
like that would be like,
Yeah.
because women weren't thought of in that manner
Mhm.
at all. The third theory is that Tofana actually died in 1951 before the trial even began. But her daughter and her co-workers were the ones that were executed in 1959. So her daughter and her co-workers were all helping her. Like,
Mhm.
they were all helping create the product. They were dispensing the product, putting it, selling it, whichever.
Yeah.
And so that's why they were all killed as well.
That kind of goes in with question type
Mhm.
thing that I know you're probably not going to be able to
Mhm.
answer. Is like, where exactly did she get the poison? Did she go out and get it herself, or did she have like
Yeah.
a supplier? It just
My understanding is that belladonna is, so since most of these products can literally be found
Yeah.
in nature, I'm assuming she had
that's
a very easy way to get the product.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It just makes me question whether she
Yeah.
went out. Maybe in the beginning she went out and got it herself,
Mhm.
and then eventually got like a supplier
Yeah.
or someone to do it for
Mhm.
her.
And the belladonna flowers, I'm assuming, were very, like, very common. The way I picture it from the stories that I read is that it's literally grows everywhere. So she could go and just pick them and do what she needed to do with those ingredients. And a lot of the females used belladonna because they believed that bigger pupils meant beauty.
Yeah.
So it was everywhere, pretty much.
What if the field of beautiful flowers where the execution was a bunch of belladonna?
Oh, that would be interesting.
That would be.
Yeah. And honestly, it looks like to me, when it looks like a black blueberry or like a black.
Yeah, it kind of looks like black blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has a couple little flowers on it. It looks like.
Yeah. And there was actually I found more sources that said that she actually died in 1951, that she wasn't executed. She died before she was supposed to be executed. So I'm not 100% sure on that either.
Yeah, maybe they said that they executed her in 1959 just to please the public.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Because if no one really knew what she looked like necessarily,
yeah,
they could have just said, "Oh, this is her," so and executed that person.
Right. The fourth theory is, so Tofana was arrested and brought back to Palermo, where she was tortured until she gave a number that the officers thought was reasonable for her to be executed. So the thought is that she exaggerated her numbers, thinking the torture would end. So maybe she said a number under 100 and they didn't believe her or didn't like the number. So they continued to torture until she came up with the number of over 600.
That's very possible, too.
So I'm like, it was probably only like 40 to 50, and then they're continuously, whatever they're doing to torture her.
Yeah,
and
like,
then,
what's the real number? What's the real number?
Yeah.
So then she finally gives a number that they're happy with.
Yeah. So they'll stop torturing her. And then she's like, I'm going to die either way, so I might as well just tell them whatever they supposedly want to hear. And it's so they can justify killing her.
Yeah.
The fifth one is that some journals stated that after it was found out that Tofana was the one poisoning all of these people, she ran to a church and sought sanctuary. The church agreed and told her that she could stay there. When the officers showed up, they explained that they would destroy the church. They would literally tear it down from top to bottom to get to her, and so the church told her that they had to release her. Once she was executed, however, they threw her body over the church's wall as a warning.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So, like I said, don't know if this is true. This is just one of those that I saw and wanted to put in here. This one doesn't necessarily have to do with Tofana, except for the fact that someone is believing that she's poisoning him, or at least her poison got to him. So Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, oh yes, the composer, believed he was a victim of Aqua Tofana.
What the fuck?
Yeah. He explained to his wife that he was certain he was poisoned and will not last much longer. So did his wife poison him. He was sick and getting worse. He did not recover and passed on December 5th, 1791. So literally over 100 years. So how in the hell would she have poisoned him? Yeah. The legend of Aqua Tofana definitely lived on, but Giulia couldn't be responsible for Mozart's death because obviously she had passed over 100 years before. It is believed that Mozart most likely passed from improperly cooked food or from syphilis. Symptoms from food poisoning and syphilis resemble those of the individuals who were poisoned. Another possibility for Mozart becoming ill is that recently some of the manuscripts he was working on were tested. The last one he worked on was, I apologize, I'm definitely going to say this wrong, but Die Zauberflöte, an opera, and this manuscript had alarming amounts of arsenic on it. So it's very possible that that's actually where he was where he got poisoned, was because he was literally in the process of creating this piece of art. So it's possible someone else was trying to poison him, or it was just in the ink or the paper, whichever. This next one is very interesting to me, and I think there's a good chance so that none of this story is real. It's just a legend. And that could actually make sense just because there is nothing on her. I mean, there's the story, of course, but there's literally nothing. No images of her whatsoever as like portraits, paintings. The only thing that brings to the fact that that happened is because of the journals, and it's so many different people's accounts of what happened. So that's why it makes me believe that it is real, but also.
So another one of my things that I wrote down is maybe the portraits change, not necessarily the body of her, but maybe it changed because she changed her look so often to not get caught.
Yeah, that's possible too. True mastermind there.
Or my other thought is, what if all of the officers, or like the Pope and everything, ordered to get rid of any sort of painting, picture, portrait of her, so women wouldn't idolize her?
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. That's a really good one. And I could imagine that would happen because it would only be women in and around that area, like Rome and all that kind of stuff. And then maybe, or all those places, maybe a couple places on the outside. But once everything was destroyed, and if anybody, it could have been something like if anybody had any portraits drawn of her
Any
after
sort
the
of
fact,
thing.
they'd go to jail or something
Get
like
executed.
that. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't saying necessarily died, but maybe they would possibly use like animal fur or something to wear a wig or something like that. I'm not quite sure on that. Oh, it says I have 1500 BCE is when women, the earliest known time that women would dye their hair.
Oh, wow. So it's possible she did, and if it's like a washout or does it stay in very long?
It's just the development of synthetic dyes began in the 19th century.
Oh, okay.
But they would use they said they would use henna to cover up their hair.
Ooh, right.
And I've heard some people nowadays still use henna to dye their hair. But it also could be she was into all of this
natural stuff,
and I mean, it's kind of like medical stuff. So she could have found a way to dye her hair or do something that would, like you said, temporarily dye it and then it washes out or something like that. I think it's definitely a possibility, probably.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, pretty much all of these are a possibility.
Right,
so.
Right. The second theory of how Tofana got caught was that women were confessing to priests. And then the priests would then relay that information to the sheriff or the authorities, I mean. People started noticing that there was a sudden abundance of widows. And those two things combined got the authorities thinking and investigating. So I don't necessarily believe that one because this happened it wasn't like a couple of years span. Like this happened over years.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that was the case. It is possible that women did confess to priests about killing poisoning their husbands after. But it's so hard. It's so hard because, like, obviously, murder is wrong. But so is beating your spouse.
Yeah. Or children or.
Yeah. Animals. Like, the list goes, I mean, just.
It goes on, but.
Yeah. And the priest didn't do a damn thing to protect the women.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if they were to confess to anyone that had a name or a standard, they were all males. Right. Women had nothing.
Mm-mm.
They were known by who they married and who they were with. Who they were a daughter of.
Yeah.
They didn't have their own name out there.
Right.
And that kind of gets me into my other thing is all of the doctors were male, most likely.
Oh, yeah, I'm assuming too.
Unless there's like the very few in like a small village that possibly had like a women that they agreed to be a doctor, but I doubt that really happened.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if that was actually a case until, the 1800s, but.
And then it's like another thing that probably got Tofana to get away with it so long was because men weren't going to question makeup.
Right.
Men aren't going to question women cooking in the kitchen. Men aren't going to question women really, period.
Right.
Unless they have another person saying that they did it. Well, another man saying that they did it. Because honestly, if a woman came up and says, "Oh, I've been poisoning all these people," are they really going to believe her or just think she's a hysterical woman?
Yeah, probably most likely what they were going to think.
And then execute her anyways.
The last theory that I found was Tofana got caught because some of the women got greedy. They wanted to get rid of their husbands for the money and land, not because they were being abused. So a lot of the men, once they began feeling so ill, they believed they were dying, which they were, but they would decide to create a will and get everything taken care of that they could before they had passed away. So was it the fact that women started might have loved their husbands, might have been in a marriage that was beneficial to both families involved. And they were like, oh, okay, well, they go see Tofana and they're actually not being abused or anything of that nature. So they were just, full of shit basically, and went and saw her, got the potion, and killed their husbands because they were like, oh, he's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I can't touch it unless he's dead and he leaves it to me. So.
Yeah. But at the same time, it could be that even if their husband dies, it goes to a brother of the husband.
Yeah, a brother or if they have a son, the oldest son.
Yeah. It pretty much goes to
any male
that has like a sliver of relation, or even probably not by blood, and before it would go to the woman.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So thoughts on this case? Some believe she is a saint and some believe she got what she deserved. I don't think it's that simple. I really don't. I don't think it's one or the other. But I can't say for certain because I was not in those women's shoes. I can't imagine the terror and desperation that they felt. Who knows what I would have done in that same situation. I would say, though, if those men were beating their wives, looks like justice was served with some soup.
Or wine.
Or wine.
Have to agree on that one.
Yeah. I have so many questions, but it's all because there isn't a whole lot of answers available.
Yeah. So what is like the theory that, out of all the theories you said, what do you think is the most believable one?
I honestly believe that she was found out because of the one client.
Yeah.
And so I honestly think it's pretty much the original story. I think that the original client went through all of that, and then she was tortured, and she said, well, I actually got it from this woman, Giulia Tofana, and she sells a product, Aqua Tofana, and that's what the poison is in. And so then the authorities go and get it. I don't know if they tested it, how they would verify all that.
Well, they probably didn't even fucking verify.
They probably didn't. They probably just like, okay, and then, oh yeah, she's killed.
Oh yeah, or they could have went to the previous like females that husbands have died of like sickness and seen that they had the same bottle.
Yeah. Oh.
Or remembered that they had the same bottle, but like still.
Yeah.
Did they keep every single record of
Probably
visiting?
Not. Probably not. So that's the one I'm thinking is, and that Giulia was arrested and taken in, and then she was tortured into giving a number.
Yeah.
I believe it's probably close to that number, if not more than 600.
Yeah. Well, even if she had people coming into the village that was just passing by.
Right.
And picked that up. Or multiple up.
Right.
And that could have went somewhere else that wasn't on the record.
Absolutely. What is the one you think is the most plausible?
I think probably the same thing. I think the original story, and I don't think the church one. I don't think hiding in the church.
I don't think that was necessarily one either. And then them throwing her body over the wall. I don't
think that one.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like there might be some truth in her being like not necessarily like a palm reader, but into potions and kind of like a white witch.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Maybe not as much as that first theory is.
Yeah.
But I feel like she had to have some sort of feeling in that. Either she was like part of like a white witch, or she was like full on scientist.
Yeah.
I feel like it's either one of the other.
I agree. To
be working in that type of. And I'm more inclined to believe witch in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not witch, it's like a natural person.
Yeah, like what do they call it?
I don't know. Like down to earth type person, because it's a bunch of plants and but I mean, it could be either.
Yeah.
But I have feeling it's something like that.
Mm-hmm. I would have to agree.
The thing that makes me question is, why didn't she try to change her name every time she went to a client?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Never use her actual name.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I mean, was it a small town or a big town?
Yeah,
I would have to imagine it's a bigger town because of the number. But if it's a smaller town, then it's hard for me to believe 600.
Right.
So, I mean, that's another point to that. If it was a smaller town, most of the people could already know her name, even her mom, and since she was executed too, and right, her mother was executed.
That was the other thing too, is that, like, not 100% sure that Tofana is her mom. That's just who she's linked to. So we're just assuming also that she's family because of that as well.
What if Giulia Tofana is a fake name?
Yeah, very possible. And what if her mom actually wasn't killed? Wasn't actually executed? I mean, there's
so many possibilities and questions. It's like never ending.
Yeah. But I've thought about this case since we started the podcast. So June of last year, and then even before then, like, I'd heard about this case. I watched a couple podcasts, and then
it's like, definitely got to do this. It's so interesting.
Yeah, and then during doing research, I found so many people that had already done this case, but I have to say,
Bailey Sarian,
yes, was my favorite.
Overall, I just love Bailey Sarian because she does it kind of how we're trying to do it.
Right.
It's serious, but we're trying to throw some basically dark humor in there.
Which you gotta have you gotta have it.
Yeah.
To get through some of these. Yeah,
and we try to give it how it is.
And you don't always hear the bloopers.
There's a lot of bloopers that I cut out.
Yeah, you don't always get to hear them, like when the pups go running and you hear their tails swishing or their little paws across the floor, and I'm like...
Or someone comes up or down the stairs, you can hear that. Our studio's not completely soundproof.
No,
But it is a lot better than what we started with.
Absolutely. We were traveling.
Traveling, and then during the summertime, we were using mattresses in front of doors.
Yeah, that was crazy. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like, it feels like this room has always been like this room.
Yeah. It's
like,
so crazy. And we know it hasn't been. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so crazy. Kind of jumped into a little bit of podcast.
Something shiny.
But yeah, this case, I've watched Bailey Sarian's episode on it. When did she come out with this episode? Hold on. Yeah, I want to say that I watched it when it first came out, when she first came out with it. But I've always thought about this case just kind of like you, and
yeah.
If you weren't going to do it, I was going to do it eventually.
Yeah.
So.
It was one of those, like, it's part of the ongoing future cases list. Yes. And that one has been on there from the very beginning.
Yes. We have a lot of future cases, and we're trying to knock them down, but a lot of the times something else comes up. I do want to mention this is going to be a shorter case than usual, but that's just because there's not a lot of information on it.
Yeah, so unfortunate because it is a good story, whether or not...
Oh.
I swear, if I get sucked into another... I was thinking, if I get sucked into another case and I find out that it's not real, I'm going to lose my shit.
I try not to mention your...
faux pas.
Case you did fucking 50 pages on and then realized it was.
I was so pissed. Oh my gosh, like to put that much time into a case and everything was clicking. Like, yeah, I want to say I had close to 50 pages written, not typed up yet, written. So that probably would have been close to, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. We generally write 12 to 20 pages and then it transfers to like 20 to 30 or whatever pages typed, and it just, yeah, that really pisses me off.
Yeah. I don't mention it because I feel bad.
It's all good. It's my own fault.
Because you were like so into it.
I was into that case for sure. Like I was, like I already knew who. And the thing is like there's cases that we look at and we already know who. I mean, obviously usually by the title or whatever. But there's some cases that we look at and we're like, oh yeah, it's totally that person, or it's like, it wasn't that person. It was this person.
Yeah.
That did whatever it was that they did, and I knew who the attacker was, and just by the way the story, like reading through everything, and anyways, it was fake. The whole thing was fake, and I was so livid. So yeah, that's where I was hoping this story wasn't going to lead to, and I was like, you know what, it's okay, because even if it is a legend, clearly it was very powerful because Mozart thought he was a victim of it as well. So over 100 years later. So clearly it was a very impactful case.
Yes. Even if it is a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Aqua Tofana. That's what I got. Seriously, go watch Billy Saren's episode on it.
Yes.
I think that's all of the thoughts, questions I have.
Yeah,
at the moment.
I don't have any.
I'm probably going to think of like 10 more by the end of tonight.
Mm-hmm. That's usually how it works.
Yeah. Our hearts go out to the victims in this case and all individuals affected. With that, that is all we have for today. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Girls Gone Curious Podcast. Until next time.